as the leader on media listeners and listening. I really think that this is an unbelievably enchanted, magical, beautiful realm that is so beyond words, so beyond language, that I think it's our hubris to think that we can use language to try to articulate and extrapolate the actual beautiful wonder of this great mysterium tremendum that we're afoot in, and that, you know, every breath we take and every person we meet, every experience we have is in this Garden of Eden. This is heaven on earth. And there's been this wildly beautiful, transcendental, metaphysical idea of this millennial kingdom, this millennial reign, this 1,000-year reign of Christ, and that whole thing is really beautifully, stunningly poetic and enchanted. This true, sense of mystery and awe of this Garden of Eden that we're living in. And now when I look around, I literally see the Garden of Eden. This beautiful creation. I look up at the firmament and I see the pole star. I imagine that to be the gates to heaven. Just like there's a pineal gland on our head, this is our dome, and then we got the pineal gland, that's our pole star. And then we got this huge dome with the pole star, Polaris, up there. It's like as above, so below. There's a dome within, a dome without. There's a portal, a pineal gland portal to back to heaven through consciousness. At the same time, I think that when we die, our souls get pulled to the electromagnetic center of the system where Mount Meru is, and we shoot up that Jacob's ladder, the stairway to heaven, and our soul flies into Polaris, and that's where heaven is. I think heaven is actually in the waters above, through Polaris, through the pole star. We are standing in the Garden of Eden right now, and what we're trying to do is to unravel all these false narratives so that we can realize that here in the body, we're in the Garden of Creation, and we pass on, our soul transcends, and we're going to go back to heaven and hang out with that coven of ascended masters and gaze upon the glory of Christ, and all the secrets be unraveled with some kind of telepathic download, beyond language. So what we're attempting to do here is to go into a territory where language is not welcome. Just unbridled bewilderment of the great riddle. The road to awe is through breath, and I think the true logos is it's beyond our understanding. We just have to gaze upon the wonder. And on a closing note, let me get a little jiggle, a little dance in here. Woo! I really think that this is an unbelievably enchanted, magical, beautiful realm that is so beyond words, so beyond language, that I think it's our hubris to think that we can use language to try to articulate and extrapolate the actual beautiful wonder of this great mysterium tremendum that we're afoot in, and that, you know, every breath we take and every person we meet, every experience we have is in this garden of Eden. This is heaven on earth. There's been this wildly beautiful, transcendental, metaphysical idea of this millennial kingdom, this millennial reign, this 1,000-year reign of Christ, and that whole thing is really beautifully, stunningly poetic and enchanted. This true, sense of mystery and awe of this Garden of Eden that we're living in. And now when I look around, I literally see the Garden of Eden. This beautiful creation. I look up at the firmament and I see the pole star. I imagine that to be the gates to heaven. Just like there's a pineal gland on our head, this is our dome, and then we got the pineal gland, that's our pole star. And then we got this huge dome with the pole star, Polaris, up there. It's like as above, so below. There's a dome within, a dome without. There's a portal, a pineal gland portal to back to heaven through consciousness. At the same time, I think that when we die, our souls get pulled to the electromagnetic center of the system where Mount Meru is, and we shoot up that Jacob's ladder, the stairway to heaven, and our soul flies into Polaris, and that's where heaven is. I think heaven is actually in the waters above, through Polaris, through the pole star. We are standing in the Garden of Eden right now, and what we're trying to do is to unravel all these false narratives so that we can realize that here in the body we're in the garden of creation, and we pass on, our soul transcends, and we're going to go back to heaven and hang out with that coven of ascended masters and gaze upon the glory of Christ, and all the secrets be unraveled with some kind of telepathic download, beyond language. So what we're attempting to do here is to go into a territory where language is not welcome, just unbridled bewilderment of the great riddle. The road to awe is through breath, and I think the true logos is it's beyond our understanding. You just have to gaze upon the wonder. And on a closing note, let me get a little jiggle, a little dance in here. Woo! I really think that this is an unbelievably enchanted, magical, beautiful realm that is so beyond words, so beyond language, that I think it's our hubris to think that we can use language to try to articulate and extrapolate the actual beautiful wonder of this great mysterium tremendum that we're afoot in, and that every breath we take and every person we meet, every experience we have is in this Garden of Eden. This is heaven on earth. In this wildly beautiful, transcendental, metaphysical idea of this millennial kingdom, this millennial reign, this 1,000-year reign of Christ, and that whole thing is really beautifully, stunningly poetic and enchanted. This true, sense of mystery and awe of this Garden of Eden that we're living in. And now when I look around, I literally see the Garden of Eden. This beautiful creation. I look up at the firmament and I see the pole star. I imagine that to be the gates to heaven. Just like there's a pineal gland on our head, this is our dome. And then we got the pineal gland, that's our pole star. And then we got this huge dome with the pole star, Polaris up there. It's like as above, so below. There's a dome within, a dome without. There's a portal, a pineal gland portal to back to heaven through consciousness. At the same time, I think that when we die, our souls get pulled to the electromagnetic center of the system where Mount Meru is, and we shoot up that Jacob's ladder, the stairway to heaven, and our soul flies into Polaris, and that's where heaven is. I think heaven is actually in the waters above, through Polaris, through the pole star. We are standing in the Garden of Eden right now, and what we're trying to do is to unravel all these false narratives so that we can realize that here in the body we're in the garden of creation, and we pass on, our soul transcends, and we're going to go back to heaven and hang out with that coven of ascended masters and gaze upon the glory of Christ, and all the secrets be unraveled with some kind of telepathic download, beyond language. So what we're attempting to do here is to go into a territory where language is not welcome, just unbridled bewilderment of the great riddle. The road to awe is through breath, and I think the true logos is it's beyond our understanding. We just have to gaze upon the wonder.
What's up, guys? I'm going to leave a little bit of this music playing in the background. I just want to make sure you guys are hearing me. This music. If the background music is too loud, I'll turn it down a little bit. Just give me a 5x5. Make sure that you can hear my voice over it. I
can see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words.
Hey. It's been me talking from both the Reckoner and Tinfoil. The guys might join later. Just wanted to spend a little bit of time tonight with you guys. It's been an interesting summer. That might be an understatement from our standpoint, but we are broadcasting from the sunny climes of Atlanta, Georgia. Big shout out to Nathan, we are in his studio. We are actually cooped up with a makeshift studio back there, except that the speed of the internet isn't quite as good back there, or else we'd be back there with a little better setup back there. We're kind of piecing together what was once our studio one piece at a time, and right now we're basically on an iPad and a couple of phones, and just kind of still putting together broadcasts every week with tinfoil, and we're gonna have some Reckoner videos coming up. I've got a record that's coming out the 1st of August, which is kind of a love letter to FE and amongst other things. A lot of announcements that are going to happen, but what I wanted to cover tonight was the event, Flatlanta, and kind of get some things out there in the universe and talk about kind of what we think it could be, versus what it's been in the past, what other events have been in the past. First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Karen B and Ted, and to some extent some other people who put on events before that. We've been able to learn a lot about what actually happens at these events, and what they are. And Karen put in a shit ton of work putting on Flattober for
Shout out to Karen B.
Shout out, baby. And I know there was a lot of work put into like the international conventions and that sort of thing. There's some people involved with some of those that maybe we don't talk to anymore. It doesn't matter. But there's Nico. We were actually on the front porch where we get better reception at Nathan's. And yeah,
Feeling double on his shoulder.
we had a kind of a meeting of the minds a couple weeks ago, and we're like, well, we know that there is the International Truth Expo. I believe that's, if someone wants to correct me that in the chat, that's cool. We're not interfering with that. I believe that's in November. I think it's first or second weekend in November. And a lot of us just got together. It's like, do we do anything? Do we do something? Karen's kind of like, she didn't want to do an event this year. I understand. I'm understanding the pitfalls of doing an event, and kind of a meeting of the minds. We were like, well, let's do something that is that combines kind of all of the great things from all of that we have enjoyed in the past for these events, and a lot of music. We're going to do 2 presenters, and there's a reason why I chose the presenters that we have, and we'll get into that as we move along through this stream, because there's a lot of philosophical reasons why we did it. Like, a lot of people are asking, why would you do an event to begin with? This is a lot of work. You stand a risk of losing money. You stand a risk of you stand a risk of a hurricane swiping through your event.
Uh-huh.
You think about a lot of things, just logistically from a housekeeping standpoint. I know that we all love to get together, and it's a really great recharging of batteries when we do all get together. And between the various people that I talked to, Rick Hummer wanted to do a bigger thing, more akin to, these giant conventions, with a lot of speakers and a lot of sit down and a lot of, I guess, education. And I was like, I'm not sure we're ready to do that yet. I'm not sure that we have the resources to pull off something like that becomes, something big. And we didn't want to get into that world. It's not my lane. I wanted to do something more akin to Karen's Solar Return, which was an offshoot of Flattober, which had a lot of great music, some really good camaraderie, some people selling their tchotchkes, people passing out their things, and really just a lot of what I'm calling cross-pollination between, which is what we're going to work to, which is cross-pollination between streamers, people that are just getting into the content world and creating new stuff, as well as some established people. We've got most of the lineup established. at this point in time. And there's another thing that we're going to bring up later about additional people at the event. That being said, I do want to give a shout out to everybody we've stayed with so far this summer. We've been on kind of a FE summer tour since the thievery event in Louisville, and that's not what tonight's about. But we've been very fortunate to have some good friends out there in the community that we've stayed with, and we really appreciate
and Zach and Liz and Joanna and Karen and Ted and Nathan, commercial sound and video, NDB, number one fan.
We say it Saab.
Vlad, Uncle Saab.
Thanks for ruining my right ear, Vlad. that snub 9mm, that's serious business. The AR-15 I could handle. I shot that one fine, but the snub, forget about it, dude. I'm in headphones from here on out next time I shoot.
Oh gosh, I don't know if there's anybody that I forgot, but everybody's going to be getting thank you cards. We have all of your addresses.
Crum and Emily, did you say Crum and Emily?
Crum and Emily, I'm saving the best for last.
Yeah, I mowed Crum's lawn. That was something that I've been wanting to do for years after living in the city. I just want to mow a lawn. Can I just mow a lawn? And I sat out there and I drank beers and smoked cigarettes and mowed an acre of grass.
Yeah, he's like riding across and he's got a beer and then he hits a cigarette and he moves like 5 feet.
Yeah. And then I stop, take a break. And also Jana, thank you as well. We stayed with Jana for a little bit.
Paige,
and of course, we're at Nathan's right now in Atlanta. We're in a studio back there. We'll be there, until further notice. We're still in standby as far as the Outer Banks is concerned, but the event kind of came across the table and
wait, really quick.
Yeah.
Just a quick U-Haul update. I reached out today to a person that organizes fuckyouyouhaul.com, and he sent a pretty scathing, very assertive letter to all the executives at U-Haul, and they're going to be doing a little piece on both of his websites, and looking forward to sharing that with everybody. And the rest of that update is still haven't heard from U-Haul.
Yeah, so there's that. Anyway, you might ask why in the middle of all this madness, why would we try to do
exactly, Josh, more like Boo Haul.
Why would we want to do an event? Like, why do I want to expend the energy to do it? Because it's frankly, and I'm sure if you've had any conversations with Karen, the pitfalls are endless and they keep going and they keep going. The consensus was, and we had conversations with Sarge, with Weiss, with NDB, myself, Nico, amongst others, that there needs to be something on the East Coast. There needs to be something where we can all hang out on the East Coast and recharge our batteries, have a good time. And I was like, well, let's start out really small. Let's make sure that we stay within our boundaries and with our lane, and kind of avoid, some of the things that can happen if you try to put on something too big. And we came up with Flatlanta. And the reason we chose Atlanta, and I know, Karen, I'm sorry, I know you hate Atlanta.
Sorry. Thank you, Mojo and Tommy, Flat Earth Fellow.
Yes.
And
Bender Farms. Bender Farms and Bali Music Journey. Oh my God. Sorry.
I mean, seriously, like the list keeps growing.
It's been quite a wild summer. We've stopped at a lot of places. So thank you, Dan, and thank you, Fender Farms, Vinny.
Tommy, Vinny, Mojo, and also Mojo also posted, it's internationaltruthexpo.com.
Internationaltruthexpo.com. We are not trying to interrupt that one. That's going to be in November. Matter of fact, we're going to try to make our way out to that one.
It's November 7th, 8th, and 9th.
No, November 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's got some really great speakers. I think they're far enough apart that people on the East Coast that can't get to the West Coast event, I think Atlanta is a really good hub, back to my point, which is like it's pretty close to the airport. We've got one venue secured, and I'll go ahead and talk about the venues right now. The first venue is very music oriented. It's basically a studio. It's a Soul Asylum, the band from the 90s. It would be really great for the musical acts. Some of the downsides of it is most of the capacity is outside, so we need to put up a tent. in case, said hurricane comes back through and or rain or anything else. We got to have some coverage outside. You can only fit like
Train.
50 or 60 people inside. And so,
God forbid a runaway train.
yeah,
Sorry.
really gonna do that?
No.
And then and there's a couple other things about it. This housekeeping stuff is like, some of the stuff is not really that exciting to talk about. Is the fact that there's 1 or 2 bathrooms in the place, and if you get 250 people in there, then you got to get porta potties outside. You got to do all this, and then you got to hope that a hurricane doesn't swipe up the way. So that one's still on the table. The second venue, which I kind of have a hunch, just my intuition says we're probably going to end up at the Garage in West End in Atlanta, which is in a really amazing district, full of like food options, bar options. If you need a break from the FE crowd after you've been chatting for 5 straight hours, you can get out and go do some other things.
It's introvert friendly.
If you need to go elsewhere, it's a really cool location. Both of them are really cool locations. We've just got a couple of them set up to do the thing, because we wanted to be a little bit pragmatic, moving forward into this. And Dr. Law has been so gracious, as he always has been, to he's going to provide food. The tickets for the event, we decided at $120 for 3 days, and that's going to include food from Dr. Law. So you're going to get lunch and dinner Saturday, and then kind of a brunch thing on Sunday. And I'll explain the logic of that right now. Is you get 2 different groups of people that like to come to this thing. 90% of the people that come to these things are already FE. They're already woke up. They've already gotten to that point, and they just need the camaraderie. And that's kind of what this is going to be. You get 10% that are curious, right? So we wanted to make something where you don't have to leave very far or go very far to get what you need. Still hang out. You can be outside or you can be inside. Depending on which venue we choose, there's either going to be presenters directly to the audience, or it's going to be from a streaming studio upstairs at the old Soul Asylum Studios, which will go out and it'll broadcast out to the outdoor space. That's kind of the initial idea. We move to the bigger space, then everything's going to be inside. We'll have 2 presenters, and then it's mostly going to be a streamer event, which is going to be kind of like a Comic-Con for alternative think. And we're going to cover some territories on that as we move forward, because I know there's a lot of vitriol out there in FE land. I know there's a lot of vitriol out there in general. And I know there's a lot of just scumbags that are just mucking everything up, as it were. So we're going to be very careful about like who's coming to this thing, and we're not going to gatekeep it. Like, I want some variety. So anyway, there's your details. It's October 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It is in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be very highly likely in West End in Atlanta. There's MARTA lines that'll get you there real quick. Cheap flights, less than 15-minute car rides from the airport if you're flying in.
And close to MARTA. And
there's close to MARTA. Both cases are close to MARTA.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, that's the MARTA. Is that Metro Atlantic Regional Transport Authority? I don't know.
It's spelled a tram backwards. So it's basically a tram, but it's MARTA if you're going to go forward.
Yeah. So there's that. Those are the details right now, and we do have a portal set up. I actually put it in the chat. It's a really long one right now, because the only thing we have right now is the Eventbrite setup, which gives you, the people that have already confirmed, a way to get your tickets. And let me cover this right now. What we're going to do up to July 4th, it's $120 for 3 days, and you're going to get some food with that too. And then if you buy them before July 4th, we're going to give you a +1. So it's half price. But it's still going to be $120. So you buy one ticket, say you're coming with somebody else, it's
actually save the +1 for any family member or friend who has laughed at you, told you were crazy or anything. Just use that +1 for them. Have them join us.
Yeah. The idea was, if you're not coming as a couple, or if you're not coming with somebody else, Use the +1 to bring somebody along. It's a half price discount until July 4th. Depending on who we add as we go forward, the schedule is pretty much already set for the formal schedule. Now we're just working on.
I think it would be more of an informal schedule.
The informal schedule is how we're going to handle the streamers, which is going to be a big part of what I want to talk about tonight, which is.
It is a black tie event, so everybody make sure that you have your t-shirts.
Somebody's going to edit that,
jeans.
cut it out, and use that against you. You realize that?
Fantastic. Do it. I will share it. I love it.
So, here's the thing. I'll take you a little bit through the schedule, and I'm going to talk some details here. So I don't have to repeat myself too much. Obviously, all this is going to be on the Eventbrite page, and then we're going to do a website to make it, more official as the week moves forward. So Friday, it's going to be check-in at noon. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to talk about. So like some people that like to go to these weekend events, they want to take Friday off and they want to come for Friday and Saturday, and then they have to get back to their world on Sunday, get back to the airport, drive back, whatever. Other people are like, no, I'm not going to get there till Saturday, and I'll stay through the hangout on Sunday. So how we're going to set it up is it's going to be check-in on Friday at noon. In West End, in Atlanta. It's either going to be the Soul Asylum Studios or most likely the Garage, we believe, which is a much bigger space. We're going to do the check-in noonish. And then about 1 or 2, right now the working plan is that's Streamer City. In other words, we're going to try to invite, we're going to have streamers from all walks. And not that I endorse some of these streamers. Not that I say that it's right or wrong. We're going to try to get a selection of 10 to 20 streamers that are going to have an availability to put up a banner, sell their tchotchkes, or give their tchotchkes away, whatever they want to do.
What is a tchotchke?
A tchotchke is something that you give to somebody or sell. Yeah, I always call them tchotchkes. So
you can give away garb, or they can sell.
You get to interact. You get to network with other streamers that maybe you haven't had a chance to meet in person. We're going to encourage at least one stream from every streamer that we're going to have a submission process. We want to get 10 to 20.
Yeah.
And we're while I won't endorse a lot of streamers, I do want to have all the way from stuff that I really like all the way to some places that are very fringy and are very almost to the point where you're like, oh my God, that person showed up. I kind of want that. I'll tell you why. I want some variety. I want some things that are both solid, on the rails, and good. And I want some stuff that's kind of out there. I want something that might challenge us a little bit. It may not be true, but I want to have a little representation from everything. So when I say that, obviously FE World's going to be covered a lot. I'll get to the schedule here in a minute, but I want to cover some alt history. I want to cover, in the modern parlance, a mud flood or, Tartaria. There's going to be a lot of haters and lovers about that, but we're really looking for some of the alternative history people and that sort of thing. And we want to have those group of people talking to each other on that Friday. There's going to be a lot of people coming in, checking in, but not a lot of people there on Friday. But that's where the streams are going to happen. And that's where I want streamers to go on to other people's streams. I want certain content creators to meet other content creators, maybe go on their stream. Or maybe everybody just streams their own thing for that first 6 hours on Friday. And then on top of that, Tinfoil Sombrero is going to run the mainstream, and we'll have people in there doing that thing as well. So it's going to be a mishmash. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on at once, and that's the idea.
No riots, healthy debates.
Yeah, healthy conversation. People walking over to other people's streams saying, hey, I'm from this stream, like to sit in. Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. Maybe everyone just does their own stream for 6 straight hours, on Friday. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens when you combine a lot of different ideas across the board.
It's kind of like when you're typing in the chat and then you all of a sudden can come up and be like, hey, I'm XOXO Nico. And then people can get, you know, a name to the face that they interact with all the time. And I think it's just a neat, fun thing to do.
Yeah, and I think like the crossing over of different groups and different circles in, guess what you would call Effie land or alternative think land or conspiracy land or whatever the fuck you want to call this shit. And that's going to be Friday, and then and we'll get into the schedule here. At 7 p.m., I think either 7 or 8 p.m., Mark and DJ are going to do a special Strange World broadcast from the event. David Weiss, Sarge, DJ, probably a few others that I haven't confirmed yet, so I don't want to say it. These guys are going to be available throughout the weekend to also jump on other content creator streams to help kind of, I guess, build some bridges and say hello and, you know, talk about the things that we talk about in a relaxed manner. Because at the end of the day, you know, most of us that have gone to these events in the past know what it really is. It's like a lot of us, it's a recharge of our battery. It is a way for us to get around, and Karen knew this, and that's why she did a wonderful job at these events. It was like a chance for everybody to get together and just vent and breathe. And I want it to be like, also, I want to give some people a chance to clear the air. They may have a viewpoint that absolutely is ridiculous. I don't care. Like if there are Bigfooters out there, I'm going to take a Bigfooter in the submission for a 3-day pass to come here and do your thing. It won't be part of the main schedule, but like you can stream from here and you can interact. I want Bigfooters. I want alt history. I want to take one that is the most ridiculous thing, and I don't even know what that is, but I want somebody that's just way the fuck out there. And maybe we'll take one heliocentrist that wants to come and build a booth and show us our spinny ball religion thing.
They can have the lemonade stand.
I mean, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't accept at least one Glober, right? So, like, we can have the you know, the token Glober in the corner with his space balls.
Brenda.
I mean, maybe it's Brenda. I don't know. I did not come up with the idea. That was her. Yeah, but this is the thing. Is like, it's mostly Chilling's like, don't say the name. I know. I get it.
I'm just kidding.
I get it.
Well, actually, I'm kind of not kidding because I would really love to crochet with Brenda because I feel like she's got her hobbies in the wrong place.
Okay, so there might be a crocheting booth or a cooking booth with Brenda and Nico. We'll find out.
Don't.
But anyway, the idea is that we're gonna have some people that haven't had a chance to get out into this situation that we've been doing for, you know, a better part of a decade, or at least as far as events, a better part of 5 years. And that's again a big shout out to Karen, because Karen is kind of the one that did a lot of the heavy lifting early on.
Do you know what B stands for with Karen B? Badass.
Karen Badass.
Karen Badass.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of learn from like all the experiences we had with that situation, and it's not gonna be loose. It's gonna be pretty powerful. And let me take you through after the schedule for Friday. So we're going to have the ideas in my mind right now. I haven't heard back from One Big Love, but we're trying to reprise what happened during the Hurricane Edition at Flattober at Karen's last year. But I want to do One Big Love on Friday night after Strange World.
Not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed. I'm still trying to reach out to those guys, but manifest that. And it'll end at midnight on Friday, but everybody will be checked in, or you'll come in, and there's going to be a lot of people streaming. As far as the streamers there and doing that sort of thing, don't expect a lot of people on Friday. It's people are checking in, they're kind of getting in there, and you're going to get the bar crowd later in the evening, like 8 or 9 o'clock. Haven't decided if we want to do karaoke yet. That was always fun with Karen's stuff. It's going to be a cool hang on Friday. It basically you're going to have the Strange World broadcast, and I'm hoping for One Big Love, and we'll do a lot longer set than they did last year because of the weather and that big thing that happened. So that'll be Friday night. And then Saturday, we're going to start check-in roughly 11 a.m. noon and get everybody kind of a chance to get settled in. And then we're going to do. I chose two completely, well, not opposite, I guess, but two people from two different circles to do presentations. And I thought, this is just in my mind, I thought this would be pretty powerful because I know there's a lot of differences in the community. I know there's some vitriol. But I chose who I thought were some pretty fair choices to do presentations. And I'm going to have Vlad from Ironwork 92,000 do a presentation from 1 to 3 on Saturday. And then I'm going to have Marty Leeds do a presentation from like 4 to 6 roughly after that. So like, what do you get with Vlad? Ironwork 92,000. He's ex-Navy. He gives us a little bit of a perspective into, subject matter expertise, which I kind of find to be very valuable, insofar as they were actually out there in the mud getting dirty. And, I like that stuff. And I think a lot of people in the community want to hear from people that have actually been out there on the front lines, and he can deliver some of that stuff. So I want to hear that side, not just because of that, but also, I know that he operates in circles that get in fights with other circles, but he's fair, and he's a reasonable person when it comes to something like this. And like I said, a lot of times, we're all on the same team, even though we're infighting like a bunch of children sometimes. I wanted to have him start off the day with that, and he's got some Old Navy gravy that's going to blow your mind. It's just really good stuff. And then Marty Leeds, who kind of embodies the earth that we walk around and the sky that we don't understand. And he has a really, really amazing way of bringing those two things together. And that's all I wanted to have. I wanted to have two solid, numerology. What else you got there? You got any notes?
I was just saying, like, Vlad is one of the sweetest. And he's seriously, so he makes his own almond milk, you guys.
He makes his own almond milk.
Literally makes his own almond milk. I'm like literally glad I know where he lives, because all the people, he's one of the safest people in the world. Knows all about submarines and protocol.
He's gonna give us some stuff as much as he can give us up to his clearance level. He's gonna give us some insights. It's gonna be.
But he also is one of the best mediators ever.
And he's a very good mediator. So we're trying to stay in the world of.
He's a meat soup mediator.
Not turning this thing into a riot, because it could turn into that, but we're not going to manifest that. And I think
that's why we have NDB.
That's why we have NDB. He's in charge of
security.
He's in charge of security. We're gonna do. I think we're gonna do a spot broadcast from a Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. I haven't decided where we're gonna do that yet, but I think I want him to run a panel. And I'm not sure. I haven't had time on that yet.
I think I want him to play Truth or Dare.
He's not.
Actually, no, that's a bad.
Saab is not bringing any guns. Just so you know, he will not be bringing any guns to this event that we know of.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I cannot confirm or deny that. And we're gonna roll through.
Wait, but who's gonna be like mingling around and?
Well, we're gonna have. There's gonna be a lot of content creators. Also. Well, Mark and Weiss and DJ. Some other people are going to be available for some interviews that they agree to. I'm not speaking for them, but there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of cross-poll, a lot of people popping into other people's streams, a lot of people just hanging out. Not dissimilar to Karen's Solar Return, really. It's going to be more music heavy than, say, the Flattoberfest thing. So we move through that afternoon on Saturday. We take a dinner break, and then I'm going to do some music. Mr. Crumb is going to do some music. Not to mention, I don't know if he's going to do a stream or not, Crumb, if you're out there listening, but he also has a stream called Don't Follow Crumb. Maybe if you're lucky, you might get a Mad Libs from him live. I don't know. And then we're going to move into the music, and it's going to be a set from me, a set from Crumb, and then Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms, and we're going to give him a proper set this year, since last year the hotel, he got it like 40 minutes into his set, and the hotel said, that's not to knock the hotel. They were very gracious, and they saved the hurricane event and allowed it to happen. So like, we're going to give Chief Crow the proper treatment and a full set, and that'll be Saturday night. That'll run up till about midnight. And then Sunday is going to be brunch with Dr. Law. And it's going to be the hangout back to the original point that I was talking about, which is a lot of people come on Friday and they leave on Sunday because they got to get back to lives. A lot of people don't get there till Saturday. So the Sunday hangout is going to be just a brunch barbecue hangout. There won't be any presenters. If you want, some of the streamers might stream on the Sunday. The idea is to get a lot of them to talk to each other and say, hey, I want to stream here. Maybe you want to come join my stream at this point in time. That's through Friday and Sunday. So that's the idea. And it gives everybody a full 3 days, whether you come early or come later, you come for all 3 days. You get to recharge your battery. You get to have a chance to talk to people you haven't seen in a year. It's usually about an annual affair with these things. And especially if you're on the East Coast and you can't make the West Coast International Truth Expo in Quartzsite, Arizona, I believe it is. This will be a good one on the East Coast to get to. And we designed it so that it's very easy to get to from the airport. And if you're already down here, then you can get here easy peasy. What else was I going to cover? There was something. Oh yeah, there's some other things I was going to cover too. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a form. We want to take 20 submissions for new content creators, and or people that are making content. They're not new,
making content
that we haven't mentioned that want to come and hang out and have a presence. Bring a banner, sell your tchotchkes or give away tchotchkes, whatever. And that'll include a 3-day pass and a +1. And it's just basically reach out to, you're going to email me, alexander.lowry@gmail.com, and we'll have a form to fill out. You fill out your bio, give us a link. We're going to check out your stuff, and we want to take 20 submissions. And I don't care if you're talking about Bigfoot, aliens, UFOs, fuck all. We're going to look at everything that you've got, and I'm going to try to get some sort of balance between the wackiest and the stuff that's on target, and see if we can't come up with something that's interesting and entertaining for everybody. Because look, even if I don't endorse somebody's crazy idea, it doesn't mean I'm not entertained by it. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to come over and look at your thing and be like, oh, this is funny, but I want everyone to have a chance to say their thing, even if it's just at a booth, at a table, or if they're streaming from the event. I want to give you a chance to do that. And so we're going to set that up, and we'll probably have that, ready in the next day or so. Vendors, if you're selling tchotchkes, t-shirts, whatever, we're going to have 5 to 10 vendors. It's going to be $60 a table. It'll set up, and you get a +2 on that. No fee for selling merch. Again, what we're going to ask of all these people that are actually, whether you're a content creator or a vendor, just please promote the event on your channel, and we'll send that media out to you so that you can share it whenever you go live. And then, the form's basically going to say, what is your channel, short bio, summary of content, interview. If you want some interview requests, we'll put out the word to some of the people that are there. Can't promise they're going to want to talk to you, but we're going to mediate that. And then we're going to basically host the thing from one mainstream from Tinfoil Sombrero, and we can also chroma key out to some other broadcasts if we want to. There'll be one stream that's going to be running for the main event. It's going to be hosted by Tinfoil Sombrero. And that's the story. Morning Glory. I hope I got everything in there. Looking at chat here. Did I miss anything here?
I'm sorry, I was totally paying attention to something else. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you covered everything. So basically, for the vendors, it's kind of like a flea market thing.
It's like a streamer's flea market, but
people can come up, sort of like a festival, music.
It's festival. It's sort of considered more like Comic-Con for alternate thinking.
It's like a hybrid festival. Remember back in, like early 2000s, like Dirt Fest, when everything was in the dirt and there was just like tables and people were selling merch and Creative Commons all around. And it was just super fun to just sort of network and cross pollinate,
Yeah, and
and talk to each other.
Yeah, and actually talk to each other, and that's the most important thing. Is like, and I remember like I've been to 6 or 7 events over the course of I don't know 5-6 years, and most of these events are really about people hanging out, and talking, and having a good time. And oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so people are going to be presenting. So maybe there's going to, Cami and Glowbusters and Zach and that whole crew. They've got so much stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So many cool things to experiment and show you and have a really hands-on thing. And I feel like a lot of people learn in the hands-on way to be able to see it, to believe it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special. And then there's probably some salsa is going to be there. There's going to be, I hope.
Well, they don't own the salsa anymore, but
well, it doesn't matter. We can have tinfoil salsa. My dad makes salsa, so you can do that. But I hope Emily will come and set up a table because she does garden shows and she propagates plants and she's incredibly talented when it comes to anything like that, full of knowledge. Karen gave me these gold tarot cards and I can't wait to use them and read for people.
Karen, if you're listening, we want to know about crystals.
And I mean, Karen, I made that crystal into a pendulum and I can't wait to show Karen how much. So yeah, anyway, thank you everybody for Karen about it.
Yeah.
But did you cover the form?
Yeah. So like, again, email alexander.lowry@gmail.com. We'll get you a form out. If you're a content creator and you're in FE world, alternative thinking, alternative history, all that stuff, we're going to consider everything. And, I want there to be some entertainment value in this. So even if you think somebody's way out there beyond the fringe, I'd like to have at least one of those guys there or gals.
Yeah,
totally. And
yeah, email if you have any recommendations. Send them
recommendations to alexander.lowry@gmail.com
or tinfoilsombrero777@gmail.com. And we're also going to update the Eventbrite page, which did we post a link to that?
Yeah, the Eventbrite
page.
Eventbrite is already up. And it basically gives you the details that we have up to this point. And then we're gonna make a website here in next week or so. And
the website is already there, which is lowrymusic.com. It's just the website.
It's gonna be a separate page.
Start updating everything on is gonna be lowrymusic.com/Flatlanta.
And we'll just update that constantly. And
we'll also send you guys kind of a PR packet, a marketing packet, or a campaign packet, and hopefully you can blast it out or share.
So she's saying if you're a content provider and we accepted your submission, you'll show up. We're gonna give you a bunch of videos to show on your channel. We just ask that you show the videos on the channel, promote it, and bring a banner, bring some tchotchkes to the event. You don't even have to stream there if you don't want to. We'd like you to, but like just be there and interact with everybody else. Interact with people you didn't think you would, or people you didn't think you'd like. Have a conversation with them.
One person who's really good at doing this is NDB. So if you have NDB will go on and he will just be like you look at it and he'll be like, I'm live streaming right now. And I'm like, hey, why didn't you tell me I should have put lipstick on or something?
I don't know what she's talking about, but
NDB is really good at just going live, like Rogue Live, and I think it's fantastic. And so, anyway, it's just all about celebrating content.
Yeah, it's a content creator centered event, and it's a hangout with some of your favorite content creators, and the music is going to be excellent. Basically, we're going to get a chance to actually do what we wanted to do at Karen's last year. And do it proper, as opposed to behind
it should have been.
Yeah, the way that Karen had envisioned it.
The vibe
at this fantastic venue that got basically destroyed by a hurricane last year.
Yeah,
so
we want Karen to enjoy it and not have to deal with it.
Yeah, and we want Karen to enjoy it and not have to deal with the bullshit that does.
Business end of it and like the headache of it, because that was really, really devastating. And shout out to Karen B for planning that and going through all that. That was I mean, it was fun, but it was traumatic.
Yeah.
This whole year has been fucking traumatic. So you know what? Let's all just get together and celebrate being fucking alive.
Let's have a good time. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's everybody that's gone to these events. We know what it is. 90% of us are already there, and the other 10% are curious. Let's have a good time. And
DJ Curious will be there.
DJ Curious will be there. If I omitted any names, I don't think that I did, but we're going to have a more solid schedule for the lineup. It's already pretty much set. And then we'll work on getting the forums ready for, content creators that want to show up and want to hang out and have a good time. And also,
is basically like, who are you? What's your channel? What's it about? And why do you want to be there? And just submit.
Yeah. So there you go.
We'll probably accept you anyway, because we want as many people to enjoy this as possible.
I'm not sure that, well, I guess it would be a hypocrite if I... All right, if you're going to do Upward Moving Earth, I'm not going to say that I'm going to deny you, but you're going to be put in the corner. But you can come. You can come. If someone wants to come present Upward Moving Earth, you're welcome to come.
Upward facing.
Nobody puts upward.
Corner. What?
Sorry, I would be hypocritic if I didn't let you come. Even a Glober, if you want to come, bring your little globes and do a little heliocentric display.
I mean,
maybe I'll give you a corner, or we'll do something. I don't know.
Even elevators go up and down. Like, I live on an elevator Earth. It goes up and down, and it's sort of like a portal. We got lost in a parking garage today.
It has nothing to do with Flat Earth.
It has nothing. No, but it has to do with the back room. So if anybody who knows about the back rooms, join us.
Yeah.
Because the back room thing is weird.
Yeah. Okay, guys, those are the deets. We'll have a website up here shortly, and it's going to be fun. There's going to be 2 events this fall, and they're both spread out enough. You get an East Coast event, and you get a West Coast event. So, there's no excuse to find your way to one of those. We love you guys. Those are the deets. If you have questions, most of you know how to reach me anyway. And we will see you Tinfoil Sombrero on Sunday. And, well, you know all the shows.
Whatever.
You know all the shows.
Whatever, man.
See ya.
At the same time, I think that when we die, our souls get pulled to the electromagnetic center of the system where Mount Meru is, and we shoot up that Jacob's Ladder, the stairway to heaven, and our soul flies into Polaris, and that's where heaven is. I think heaven is actually in the waters above, through Polaris, through the pole star. We are standing in the Garden of Eden right now, and what we're trying to do is to unravel all these false narratives so that we can realize that here in the body, we're in the Garden of Creation, and we pass on, our soul transcends, and we're going to go back to heaven and hang out with that coven of ascended masters and gaze upon the glory of Christ, and all the secrets be unraveled with some kind of telepathic download, beyond language. So what we're attempting to do here is to go into a territory where language is not welcome, just unbridled bewilderment of the great riddle. The road to awe is through breath, and I think the true logos is it's beyond our understanding. We just have to gaze upon the wonder. And on a closing note, let me get a little jiggle, a little dance in here. Woo!